What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the 1894. I've Joe me here today, talking about City and Atletico. We battered them, I think, personally. We won 1-0. It wasn't a 1-0 game. I think we just trashed them from start to finish.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was fairly simple, to be quite honest with you, considering they had, I think after the first half, there was a stat, we had 52 attacks and they had one, which was pretty well how the game went for 90 minutes, to be honest. They picked up a bit in the set when they went 1 goal down. They picked up a little bit. They started pressing a little bit, but ultimately they failed to really create anything. The subs that got brought on, although I disagree with who got brought off, the players who came on, for the most part, they had an impact on the game. Obviously, one of them got the assist for the winning goal. So, all things considered, we had Sterling and Mahrez come off, 60 minutes in. They'll be fresh for Liverpool, and we got the win today. So I'd say that went about as good as we could have hoped.
I think it was strange when we saw the lineup. We didn't see any Phil Foden. It was kind of opted for Gundogan and said it was okay. But Foden, when he came on, it doesn't matter where that man plays. He can play down the. We just had a video talking about where he's going to end up playing. You can play him on the right, you can play him on the left, play him through the middle, you can play him wherever you want. He's going to turn up, and he played more so off the right today, and I thought that's where his assist came from. It's a fantastic finish from De Bruyne. I think we might be seeing the start of the turnaround. I'm hoping we're seeing the start of the turnaround because he's been really good over the last couple of games, hasn't
he? Yeah, I think the Burnley game was a bit of a turnaround. I thought he was really good there. And to be fair to him, he was good again today. There were a couple of moments. I think he had like a couple of 5-10 minute spells here and there where he'd lose them, but he'd try and play his way out of trouble in his own half and he'd give it away. I like to call it hero ball. He tried to do everything himself, which, I mean, to be fair to him, his confidence was high at that point, so, not necessarily a knock on him, but in that sort of game, I'd like you to take better care of the ball, realistically, especially because we were winning. But, I mean, overall, yeah, he's got us the winning goal. He almost got a second. Foden did well down the right again. He put Kondogbia in a spliff. He put him on his ass, pretty much, and if it wasn't for Atletico Madrid having 8 or 9 players in the 6-yard box, it would have been 2-0 and you would have probably said tie over, which is unfortunate, but we're still in a good position going forward to progress now. And I'm just happy we got the win. It was, I think we were saying before in the Discord that it was probably going to be a 1-0 sort of screamer game where someone comes out of nowhere with a pile driver, and while it wasn't an absolute screamer, it was still 1-0. Like, it's going to be tight.
Yeah, but I think it obviously puts the ball firmly in our court. We're going to have to see how Atletico have to turn around and say, right, we have to take this game to them. We have to go out here and score and win. We're at home. We have the fans behind us. But we don't know if they can do that. They're very used to being conservative, sitting back, waiting for a counter-attack. If they do that against City, they're not going to go through. They didn't look particularly dangerous tonight whenever they went through. Felix had like little brief bursts of just like beating one man, but then he'd lose the ball then straight away, because I thought defensively, or at least the coverage wise, getting the ball back when they were trying to counter, and then the transition into the midfield through into the attack was phenomenal today. I thought everyone played their part, and you'll see like we haven't given any low rating stakes. They're all just that good. But do you think now, just taking this result into account, how confident are you going to the next one?
Into the next Madrid game, again, like you said, the ball's in our court. If we somehow don't go through, it'll be on us. With the 1-goal cushion, which, albeit not much, we know Madrid aren't the best going forward. They like to sit in there 5-5-0, have 2 banks of 5 with no one through the middle to hoof it up to. So I can see them maybe getting a goal in the second leg, but I can't see them blowing us away. Like, we normally score. It's very rare that we don't get at least one, so we're looking good at the moment. And while, again, it'd be better to have a 2-goal advantage, because maybe you could, maybe not start a few of them players in Madrid and actually focus on the Liverpool game in the league that we've got coming up. It's still up to us, and I'm as confident as ever after seeing that. They did nothing. I know they were at home in the second leg, but they did nothing. Like, defensively, for how little we had to do, defensively, we were superb. Like, no faults whatsoever. So I don't see a problem.
I just have to, before we go into this player rounds, you have top of the referee. He was shambolic, right? It's not. I'll let you top on 2 penalties, or at least a minimum 2 penalties we probably should have had. But it took a first full half for someone to get booked. For Schalke, crop Grealish 4 or 5 times, and Grealish down for about half an hour, and he only got a booking for his last foul. Grealish actually had them on strings when he came on. They were all fuming. He actually got a ball out at his head, and Correa didn't get sent off for it. I don't understand European refs. Like, they're just, I know the English refs are bad, but they are bonkers. Like, I cannot understand. And then Edison ends up getting booked for putting the ball away or going over to Todd Cunha, who was on the ground. Would you believe it? Because they spent more time on the ground than on the ball, because they're just play actors. It was I thought it was embarrassing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, look, the ref wasn't great. I'm glad we still got the win, though, all things considered. 2 penalties, I'd say, minimum at least 1. Bernardo Silva in the first half. I think if it's not a foul there, it's a foul on Sterling. Before that, he was hacked, I think, 2 or 3 times outside the box. There was one on the Sterling where he's literally just been shoved inside the area for no apparent reason. Like, again, we always seem to complain about the English refs not being good enough, but some of the European ones are like 10 times worse. I don't know what it is. It's a completely different game when it comes to fouls and yellow cards. Like, I don't know how long it took for him to give out his first yellow card, but there must have been about, 10 fouls to Madrid before he gave out a yellow card. And then, like you said, Grealish comes on, gets a ball booted in his face, and gets fouled by the same player 3 times in about 10 minutes. And it took him to his 3rd foul to get booked. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, he was so poor. The referee was so poor. But again, when you're still winning with that, I mean, it just shows the true sign of how good this team are. But we'll get the player ratings up straight away. In the entire back line, obviously, Barron Edison gets an A. I thought they were great. I thought the transition play was fantastic. The recovery as well, when they had to, was great. It was just a matter of giving the ball away. I thought kind of let their rating down a bit. Then Edison gets a 7. He didn't have much to do, like, if anything at all. I think they ended up coming out with a 0.07 XG or something disgraceful like that. So we really didn't have that to do. Transition was good. When the transition was good, it was fantastic, but there were just some times where maybe they'd hold on to the ball for too long. We saw it with Cancelo when he spun, I think it was Griezmann. When he spun Griezmann, then brought it forward, he looked like he was about to get tackled 4 times and put it out for a throw, and that kind of stuff just brought down the rating for maybe all 4 of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say not the centre halves. The centre halves in possession were outstanding. I think in the first half there was a stat that they had more passes combined than the entire Atletico Madrid team. Like, in possession, they were superb, and they were playing as 10s at times. Like, it was absolutely mental. We've seen it at times last season as well. Like, that entire back 4. The system, the way we set up the back 4 in the midfield reminded me so much of last season. You could see the 3 at the back. You could see Cancelo playing as a right-sided midfielder, Gundogan playing as a left-sided midfielder on the other side. Like, it was so clear to see that was the game plan. And to be fair to Ake, again, he's had a very good game. Yet again, he's proved that he can be reliable in multiple positions across the back 4. Which is great to see. It's what you want from your 4th choice central defender, and it's going to prove crucial for this running, knowing that we can rely on him. So yeah, I'd say nothing that they had to do really defensively, which is why they didn't get too high marks. But what they did have to do, again, it was superb.
Yeah, I thought if there were any lingering question marks over Ake, I think they're all gone now in the last couple of days, making a few goal line clearances, showing he can fill in at left back, which basically left side central defender. He's too good to be not playing constantly. I think, like, obviously commiserations to Zinchenko, but Ake he's been too solid to be taken out, and we said it in the preview. I think he's going to go for that, and he went for exactly that. He went for the exact same, kind of plan and tactic we were hoping he would go for, and it's paid off. But then midfield, I thought Rodri, the way he's getting an A because of the way he broke everything up. I didn't think he was too good in possession, but breaking up the play, I thought he was fantastic. Again, he was almost dropping into the defence when we needed it on the counter attacks, because we had the energy in midfield to be covering that situation for Rodri, that he could just drop back even further. Sorry, Gundogan gets a 7. De Bruyne gets a 9. He gets a 9 for obvious reasons. I thought he was great. I thought he was really, really good. Gundogan, he moves in silence usually, is what we say, but I don't want to say he was a passenger. He just wasn't really too involved with it at all. And that's another thing maybe for Bernardo and Mahrez in particular.
Yeah, I didn't really see too much of Gundogan today. I think he had that. There was a shot that he had in the first half, which was typical Gundogan, who's found himself almost on the edge of the area, just completely no one around him, and he's just taking a shot. I think he went out for a corner, but that's about it. His night ended, obviously, when he got taken off, which I think he had to change one of the midfielders, to be fair, rethink the system a little bit in that second half, which is unfortunate, but again, it's worked. The subs have worked. De Bruyne, match winner. Not much else you can say apart from, he's won us the game. He's put us in a good position to get through to the semi-finals again. And that's what you want from your big game player. That's, I've been screaming out for it for ages for him to just find himself in those areas in the box. Like, I don't want him deeper at the moment with his current passing and his current, just general keeping hold of the ball. Like, it's not as good as it was previous. So I want him in more goal scoring opportunities. And it shows today, again, another goal in the right position at the right time. And again, unlucky not to have two, but I want him in them positions more. And Rodri was, again, not too much to do defensively. It was the possession stuff. He wasn't atrocious. There were a few times where he kicked it away and it ended up back at his feet anyway, which is a bit lucky, but I think he needs to watch himself, especially with Liverpool coming up. He needs to watch himself a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. But I thought he was overall good at winning. When he had to win the ball back, he was good at winning the ball back. And as well, what we can say for Gundogan and De Bruyne and all, I was happy to see De Bruyne play a bit heavier, a bit higher up. But the three of them, they were very drop deep when they had to, very drop deep. And they all played in and around the same role. They even, as much as dropping out to the left as well. I think De Bruyne spent the majority of the end of the match kind of out on the left. Bernardo was out on the left for a while. Gundogan was kind of moving everywhere. It was so fluid. I think it was some great free-flowing football. And it proved good to end up breaking them down. But going to front three, Sterling gets an 8. I think me and Joe were both fairly surprised when he got hooked. I thought he was pretty good. He gave them a lot of problems. Again, probably should have got a couple of fouls, maybe even a penalty. Bernardo gets an 8. I thought he was good. He wasn't getting into it on the offensive side much, but coming back when he was defending, the recovery, again, covering pretty much as a left wing back now and again, he was great. That's why I think he gets the high rating. And then Mahrez, a 7. I think his same can go for Gundogan. He wasn't really a passenger, but he didn't get into it nearly as much, did he?
No, I think he was, obviously he was going to be doubled up, sometimes even tripled up with the way that Madrid set up. So, he's relying fairly heavily on De Bruyne to go and help support and Cancelo to overlap at times, which, again, sometimes that didn't work. Sometimes the ball ended up going out of play because the pass was either just too heavy or, it wasn't the right ball. They weren't on the same wavelength, whatever. But, again, he's a big player, Mahrez, and he got taken off. I think rightly so. I think he needed a bit of energy in that front three. I know we had Bernardo playing up there, but again, he wasn't really getting into it on the offensive side of things. So he had a bit more energy, a bit more creativity in that front three. And it works. That's where the goal came from. And he should be fresh for Liverpool, which is, again, what I was asking for. I was asking to try and get the game 1-2, maybe 2-0 up, take some players off. We didn't have the goals, but we still took players off. And again, preparing for the future. It's all about, rest and rotation from now on to the end of the season, making sure you get the most out of your squad. And again, Bernardo, he works as hard as anybody else on the pitch, defensively, left back, right back, defensive midfield, next to Rodri, centre half, running back after they're breaking from a corner. Like, he does it all. Again, nothing spectacular on the offensive end. A couple of moments where he was just fouled and the referee didn't give it. Again, we've gone on about the ref enough, but it wasn't his best game. But again, look, we've won the game and he's helped massively defensively. He's done a lot of hard yards. Same for Sterling. I think he didn't really get in too many positions to score, but in terms of his direct running and keeping of the ball, like it was pretty solid all around.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was just an overall very solid display. We got in. We're going to play Liverpool. We're going to Madrid. Then we're going to Wembley. It's a hectic schedule. We're going to have to get ready for the next couple of weeks. But that's the first of the 4 tricky ones down. Hope we're going in Saturday. We're coming in off a win. Obviously, Liverpool again won tonight as well. It's going to be a great match. We'll wrap it up there. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you next time.